What's up all you Fortnite playing dudes and dudettes, Toyshiz here, and I'm back yet again to give you guys another fresh look, and this one comes courtesy of my friends over at Jazwares. We're checking out their brand new Jazwares 6-inch Legendary Series, the Ruin figure. Really cool looking character, kind of like a supernatural sort of suit of armor, something like that, but comes stacked with a ton of accessories. You got bombs, guns, harvesting tool, back bling, all that stuff that you know and love about the Fortnite. 40 points of articulation, boasting pretty good articulation, I will just say. Nice colored photo of the character right there on the box, on the side of the packaging. Again, really nice artwork, Fortnite in orange, all that good stuff on the back of the box. And from Toy Fair, I got a good look at this new series. A lot of great characters, a lot of stuff that reminds you of other stuff, and I think that's the beauty of the Fortnite series. Here's the barcode if you want to go ahead and grab him. He will be hitting store shelves soon, and he's also up on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to go ahead and pre-order one. But sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is the brand new Jazwares 6-inch Legendary Series Fortnite figure, Ruin. And all will fall when this guy comes to town and gets out of the package, but he looks great. Again, comes stacked with a bunch of accessories. No, the stand is not included. That's just a little fancy thing I like to add when I show off these new figures, but I will say the sculpt is there. He's got some gorgeous paint to him. I love the gunmetal look. Kind of has like a, I would say, clay face, something like that in the mask. Just again, reminds you of a number of different things when you see these Fortnite figures. The back of the figure all painted up nicely. Again, nice little elements of red. There's a hole in the back if you want to put his back bling in. Lots of guns, harvesting tool, a little tiny set of dynamite, which is an interesting accessory. All looks really great, and all of it is painted really nicely. And the best part is he holds every single one perfectly, except for one, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I really like that they kept with the harvesting tool on the back bling because it fits the character really nicely. Of course, you can throw the guns around. Any character can hold these, have these, but it's the harvesting tool and the back bling for this guy that really beefs up the figure. He looks menacing. He looks terrifying. He looks like a suit of armor come to life, and that is really cool. The back bling will fit right there on his back, all nice and snug. And it looks good, I would say, in this way. You can kind of see that it from the side, it kind of slopes off the side, off the small of his back, which is not a bad thing, just pointing it out. But of course, if you wanted to flip it up the other way, you can go that way as well, but I think the first way is definitely the good look. The one accessory he kind of sort of doesn't hold perfectly is the dynamite. It's a little bit loose in his hand, but if you get it positioned just correctly, he can hold it with some good posability, good movement, but if you decide to, turn his hand over, it will fall out. The guns go in his hands perfectly. He's got trigger fingers. The extra hand articulation really adds to them holding the weapons securely. And this guy, he's got some tight joints, so all the guns look great, and you can get him in some really fantastic poses, victory winner poses, something like that. But again, when this guy comes a calling, you know things are getting serious. He just has that look about him. If you want to go hold a gun in one hand, kind of strapping it with the other, kind of cocking it back shotgun style, it will work. But let's go ahead and look at the articulation up close. Yeah, to go over the articulation on this Ruin figure. If you know about the 6-inch Jazwares figures, and you know that they really go to town on the articulation avenue. His head does go left, right, looks up about that much. He does, essentially, he's wearing a helmet, so you're not going to get too much of movement out of the back because it's going to kind of start to hit his shoulders into his neck. And he looks up about that much. He has these really cool shoulder pads that are on hinges. They'll go up and down, and they work when you kind of want to put his arms all the way up. So you can get that sort of pose out of him, and it really does look good. He's got some butterfly joints, shoulder articulation, bicep, swivel, double jointed elbows. Kind of, sort of, it gets hindered just because he has some sculpting of his gauntlets into his armored around his bicep. So it will just become hindered right there, right where it sort of meets. And it's the same thing on both sides. But there's double jointed elbows there. His wrists will swivel. They'll go back and forth just like that. And he does have some hand articulation. Really makes for grabbing the weapons a cinch. He does have some upper diaphragm. He spins at the waist, so he crunches about that much. Goes back about that much. So kind of sort of like the neck and the head. Not too much of a range of motion out of it, but there is something there at least. He will kick out about that much, you know. He gets some good articulation. Nice ball joints right there. Nice and hidden, I will say. And then he also has a thigh swivel. He's got double jointed knees, which again, like his armor up here in his double jointed elbows, they just kind of get hindered just because of the chunkiness of some bits of the armor. But again, it is there. He's got calf rotation. Love the colors on this guy as well. Very gunmetal, very red. And then also he's got some ankle up, down, left, right, goes to the side, and some toe articulation. So again, yeah, this guy is stacked with articulation. He's got a great sculpt to him. Lovely paint every which way. The red little nuances all look good. Nicely painted all around. Love his little backpack thing. I think that's pretty cool. So overall, I would say that if you're an articulation fanatic, he's definitely going to be a great figure for you to have on the show. Now, if you're wondering his height, he does hit that 6-inch mark exactly, just because of the little horn on top of his helmeted head, but he's going to look good with your other Jazwares 6-inch Fortnite figures. Wildcard actually stands just a little bit taller than he, but if you stack him up with some McFarlane figures, some Hasbro Marvel Legends figures, you can see the height differences. These will mesh better with the Marvel Legends series. 7-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch figures going to be entirely too short. But again, with some of these ones, the suited body, something like that, even Ruin himself, they'll look good with the Marvel Legends. Same thing with Hasbro Transformers, the new Spawn figure, just going to be on that shorter side, but it's still kind of fun to kind of interweave them with other characters, other brands on your shelf. But being at that 6-inch mark, I think it works well with these types of characters. You can do a lot of weapons, a lot of additives. Here he is stacked up with some of the 3 3/4 / 4-inch Fortnite figures. These are the 4-inch figures that I tend to gravitate more towards. Yes, they do a lot of fantastic work with the 6-inch figures. As you can tell, this guy is just, he displays really nicely. It's the gunmetal, it's the red elements, everything just came out looking good. He reminds me of a ton of different things, and he looks good from all angles. But it's just, he holds his weapons well, minus the dynamite. He does have some hiccups, I would say, just in the joints, but that's because of the result of the sculpt of the armor and things like that. If you got some more 6-inch vehicles, yeah, I think he's going to look great paired up with those as well. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about this figure. I'm definitely going to recommend him if you are a fan of Fortnite or just a really cool different action figure for your shelf. The articulation's there, the paint's there, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Fortnite. I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, when this guy comes to town, all will fall. Well, that's what he says anyways. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.